Chosen ones, get ready, because what I'm about to share is not just powerful, it's life-changing. You are here for a reason, and what's unfolding right now is not by chance. The people who wronged you, who thought they could escape justice, are facing the very consequences they never saw coming. And chosen one, you are about to witness it all. If you are watching this video right now, it's no accident. God brought you here because something extraordinary is happening in your life. The universe is responding. The scales of justice are tipping, and what was done in the dark is coming to light. Everything you've endured, every battle you've faced was never in vain. Divine timing is at work, and the moment of reckoning has arrived. For so long, you carried the weight of their betrayal, wondering if they would ever be held accountable. But chosen one, that time has come. The same energy they put out is returning, and while their world is falling apart, yours is rising. This isn't just about justice, it's about your transformation. What's happening now is a shift so powerful that it will change your life forever. Before we dive into this divine revelation, take a moment to do 3 things. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment the number 777. This will send a powerful signal to the universe, aligning your energy with this message. And remember, if you are truly a chosen one, your spirit already knows that this message is for you. Stay with me until the end, because your destiny is about to unfold. They thought they got away with it. Oh, chosen one, they really thought they could outsmart divine justice. The lies, the manipulation, the betrayal, they played their game with no remorse, convinced that no one would ever call them out. They smiled in your face while secretly plotting against you, believing their actions would stay hidden forever. But what they failed to realize is that nothing escapes the watchful eye of the divine. Time may pass, but every deed, every word, every intention carries a consequence. At first, it looked like they had won. They walked away untouched, unbothered, enjoying the fruits of their deception while you were left to pick up the broken pieces. They flaunted their false victories, mistaking silence for weakness, thinking you were powerless against their schemes. But chosen one, your silence was never weakness, it was patience. The universe has been keeping receipts, and every action they took was being recorded for the day of reckoning. And here's the twist. They got comfortable. Oh, they got so comfortable in their illusion of invincibility that they stopped being careful. They stopped covering their tracks, thinking they had already won. But that's exactly how the downfall begins, when arrogance blinds them to reality. The same confidence that made them reckless is now leading them straight into exposure. Because truth, no matter how deeply buried, always finds a way to rise. And now, the first cracks are starting to show. The same people who once stood by their side are beginning to question their loyalty. Small truths are leaking out, tiny whispers are turning into conversations, and the lies are slowly unraveling. It's not an explosion, it's a slow, painful collapse. They thought they got away with it, but in reality, they were only running on borrowed time. And chosen one, that time is up. God let them run for a while. Chosen one, have you ever wondered why they seemed to be getting away with everything? Why it felt like no matter what they did, nothing touched them? It wasn't because they were untouchable. It was because divine patience was at work. God doesn't act on human time. He allows people the space to make their choices, to either correct their ways or dig their own graves. And they, in their arrogance, mistook that patience for permission. They had every chance to stop, every warning, every sign, every moment where their conscience whispered, maybe I shouldn't do this. But they ignored it. They laughed at the idea of consequences. They assumed they could move in darkness forever, never realizing that even the longest night eventually gives way to daylight. The universe was never blind, it was just waiting for the right moment to strike. And here's the truth. The delay was a setup, not an escape. The longer they ran, the harder their fall was going to be. Every unchecked action, every ignored consequence, every cruel decision was adding weight to the inevitable downfall. Like a storm gathering strength before it hits, their judgment was only growing in intensity. And now, the first winds are beginning to blow. They can feel it, the tension, the unease, the sense that something is shifting. Because, Chosen One, divine justice is never late, but always on time, and the time for reckoning has arrived. The same hands they used to deceive are now trembling. The certainty they once carried has turned into doubt, and this is just the beginning. The weight of their actions is coming full circle. The scales of justice are finally tipping, and what was hidden in the dark is about to be exposed to the light. The scales of justice are now tipping. Chosen One, you can feel it, can't you? The shift in energy, the weight of truth pushing its way to the surface. For so long, it seemed like nothing would happen, like their actions would go unpunished. But divine balance cannot be ignored forever. The scales that once seemed frozen are finally moving, and what was once hidden is now being revealed. Justice doesn't operate on emotion. It operates on truth, and the truth, Chosen One, is undeniable. They thought they were untouchable. They convinced themselves that their lies would remain intact, that their betrayals would never come back to haunt them. But the universe was never silent. It was simply waiting. The moment they feared the least is the one arriving the fastest. They sowed deception, pain, and destruction, but now they must reap what they planted. The same traps they set for you, they're stepping into them one by one. And now the exposure has begun. Their secrets are no longer safe. People are talking, connecting dots, questioning their stories. What once looked like a flawless illusion is cracking under the weight of truth. The lies they built their world on can no longer support them, and the collapse has started. It's subtle at first, a whisper here, an unexpected setback there, but soon it will be undeniable. What they did in the dark is now being dragged into the light. But here's the beauty of divine justice. Chosen One, you don't have to lift a finger. The scales are tipping all on their own. What was unfairly taken will be restored, and what was falsely given will be stripped away. The process has started, and there's no stopping it now. They can feel it creeping in. Fear, doubt, the realization that their time of reckoning is here. And the best part, this is only the beginning. Their own actions are returning to them. Chosen One, karma has a way of delivering lessons in the exact language people understand. They caused pain, now they feel it. They manipulated, now they are the ones being deceived. The same darkness they sent your way is circling back to them, but this time it's amplified. For every wound they inflicted, they are now experiencing tenfold. It's no longer a game, it's their reality unraveling before their eyes. At first, they won't understand why things are going wrong. The sudden misfortunes, the unexpected betrayals, the doors that once opened so easily now slamming shut. They'll try to blame bad luck, try to find a scapegoat, but deep down, they know. They can feel it in their spirit. The energy they put out is finally returning, and there's no escaping it. What once felt like a distant consequence is now standing at their doorstep, demanding payment. And Chosen One, this is the part where they start looking back at you, the one they wronged, the one they underestimated. They'll wonder if you cursed them, if you wished this upon them, but the truth is, you never had to. The universe runs on divine law. Whatever you send out, you will receive. And while you were busy healing, growing, and elevating, they were walking straight into the consequences of their own design. But here's what truly shakes them: the realization that there is no undoing what has begun. They can't take back their actions, and they can't erase the past. The cycle must complete itself. And while they sink under the weight of their own deeds, you, Chosen One, are rising. Because your hands stayed clean, your spirit remained pure. And that is why the next phase of this divine reckoning is about to hit them even harder. Their confidence is turning into fear. Oh, chosen one, do you see it happening? The arrogance, the smugness, the certainty they once carried, it's all fading. What used to be confidence is now hesitation. The same people who laughed, who mocked, who thought they were untouchable, are starting to realize the truth. They were never in control. They built their world on deception, and now that world is crumbling beneath their feet. They feel it in the small things at first, a deal that falls through, a trusted friend suddenly distant, an unexpected piece of truth slipping into the wrong hands, and then the panic sets in. They replay their past actions, wondering who knows what, wondering when their secrets will be fully exposed. The fear is creeping in, and for the first time they understand. They were never ahead of the game. They were being watched all along. And chosen one, here's the moment of reckoning, when they realize that you were never alone. They underestimated you, but more importantly, they underestimated the divine force that walks with you. They thought they could move against you without consequence, but they failed to recognize that God was always watching. Every whispered lie, every calculated betrayal, it was all noted, and now the weight of their actions is pressing down on them. Their nightmares are becoming reality, the tables are turning, and the fear they once dismissed is now keeping them up at night. Because now they're asking themselves the real question: what happens next? And the truth is, chosen one, they won't like the answer, because what's coming isn't just a lesson, it's a reckoning, and the universe, it's just getting started. The universe is responding. Chosen one, the energy they sent out is finally making its way back, unstoppable, undeniable, and multiplied. The universe doesn't operate on opinion, it operates on balance, and right now that balance is being restored. The seeds they planted, the choices they made, the harm they caused, it's all returning to them in ways they never expected. They thought they were in control, but they were only setting themselves up for what's coming next. It starts subtly, almost like a whisper. Small inconveniences, sudden setbacks, doors that used to open effortlessly, now refusing to budge. At first, they'll call it bad luck. But as the days pass, the patterns will become clear. The universe isn't punishing them. It's simply delivering what they ordered. Every manipulation, every lie, every action meant to harm you has created a storm. And now that storm has arrived. And here's the part they never saw coming. You, chosen one, are untouched. While their world shakes, yours is stabilizing. The same divine force that protected you through their betrayal is now elevating you beyond their reach. You don't have to fight. You don't have to prove anything. The universe is taking care of everything. The tables haven't just turned, they've flipped entirely. They feel it and they fear it because now they understand. Energy always finds its way home, and theirs, it's knocking at their door. The question is no longer if they will face what they've done, it's when. And, chosen one, that moment is much closer than they think. No more lies, no more illusions. Chosen one, the facade is shattering. The illusion they worked so hard to maintain is crumbling piece by piece, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. For so long they relied on deception, manipulating narratives, twisting truths, covering their tracks. But truth has a way of surfacing, no matter how deeply it's buried. And right now, it's rising faster than they ever imagined. The people who once believed them are waking up. Those who defended them, who stood by their side without question, are starting to see through the cracks. Conversations are shifting, whispers turning into confessions, and the web of lies is unraveling. They can't control the narrative anymore. The truth is slipping through their fingers, and the more they try to stop it, the faster it spreads. And here's the irony, chosen one. They spent so much time trying to make you look like the problem, but now their own actions are exposing them. No one needed to seek revenge. No one needed to uncover their secrets. The very energy they put out is turning against them, forcing them into the spotlight they tried to avoid. They are being seen for who they truly are, and the weight of that exposure is unbearable. Now they're scrambling, desperately trying to regain control, but it's too late. The lies no longer work. The illusions have lost their power, and while they panic, you, Chosen One, stand in truth, untouched by their chaos. Because when divine justice moves, no one can outrun it, and this is only the beginning of their reckoning. Your hands are clean, but justice is served. Chosen One, you never had to seek revenge. You never had to lower yourself to their level, to scheme, to manipulate, or to retaliate. And yet, justice is unfolding before your eyes. Because divine law doesn't need your interference. It operates with precision, ensuring that every action meets its rightful consequence. You stood back, kept your hands clean, and now the balance is being restored on your behalf. They underestimated the power of divine timing. They thought your silence meant weakness, that your refusal to fight meant defeat. But in reality, your silence was your strength. While they were busy trying to control outcomes, you were surrendering to something greater, and now that faith is paying off. They are watching as everything they once used against you turns against them, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. And here's what truly eats them alive. They know they can't blame you. They can't say you did anything to cause their downfall because, Chosen One, you were never part of their destruction. They did it to themselves. The same people they once used as allies are turning against them. The same lies they once told are coming back to haunt them. Their own energy is their undoing, and they are completely powerless to change it. So while they scramble, trying to find an escape, you rise in peace. You don't need to gloat, you don't need to celebrate. You simply need to keep moving forward, because their story is closing, but yours is just beginning. And now, Chosen One, the part they fear most is about to happen. They will beg for mercy. Chosen One, the moment they never saw coming is here. The same ones who once laughed at your pain, who dismissed your struggles as insignificant, are now the ones drowning in their own. And for the first time, they understand what it feels like to be on the other side. But here's the difference. You didn't deserve what happened to you. They, however, are simply reaping what they sowed. At first, they'll resist. They'll try to convince themselves that it's all just bad luck, that things will turn around, but as the weight of their actions bears down on them, reality will sink in. The betrayals they committed, the lies they spread, the harm they inflicted, it's all coming back, and it's coming fast. And when they realize there's no way out, they will turn to you, Chosen One, hoping for mercy. But this time, it's not up to you. Divine justice is already at work, and no amount of pleading can undo what has been set in motion. They will ask for your forgiveness, not because they regret what they did, but because they fear the consequences. They want an escape, a shortcut, anything to lessen the weight of what they now carry. But the truth is, this is their lesson to learn, and you are no longer responsible for their redemption. And while they beg, while they grasp at straws trying to undo their fate, you, Chosen One, will stand firm, not out of bitterness, not out of revenge, but out of wisdom. Because you now understand some lessons can only be learned through experience. And as their nightmare unfolds, your destiny is about to rise into something greater than you ever imagined. Their nightmare is just beginning. Chosen One, they thought the worst had passed. They assumed the consequences would be temporary, a minor inconvenience before they could return to their old ways. But what they don't realize is that this isn't just a season. It's the beginning of a long and painful awakening. Their nightmare isn't ending, it's only just beginning. And this time, there's no escaping it. One by one, the things they held onto for security are slipping away. The people they trusted are walking out. The opportunities they relied on are closing. The same arrogance that led them to believe they were invincible is now their downfall. They are trapped in a cycle of their own making, reliving the pain they inflicted on others. And no matter how much they fight it, the truth remains. They did this to themselves. And here's what haunts them the most. While their world falls apart, yours is rising. They see it. They watch as doors open for you effortlessly, as blessings flow into your life, as you step into a level of peace they will never know. They wonder how it's possible, how you survived everything they put you through and still came out stronger. But the truth, chosen one, is simple. You were protected and they were warned. They just didn't listen. So now they will sit in the storm they created, and you will walk forward untouched, unstoppable, and divinely guided. Their nightmare is just beginning, but your destiny is unfolding. And what's coming next for you, chosen one, is nothing short of extraordinary. Chosen one, you've seen it all unfold. The lies, the deception, the manipulation, they thought they could get away with it. But divine justice has spoken, and there's no turning back. While their world is collapsing, you are stepping into the life you were always meant to have. You were never alone, you were never forgotten, and now your elevation is unstoppable. But here's the real question. Are you ready to step into your divine destiny? Are you ready to let go of the past and claim the future that was always meant for you? Because this is more than just a message, it's a confirmation. Everything is shifting in your favor, and it's time to align yourself with the path the universe has prepared for you. Tell me in the comments, can you feel this transformation happening in your life? Have you seen the signs of divine justice? Your testimony matters, and when you share, you amplify this energy even further. Don't hold back. Your story is part of something much bigger. And before you go, do these 3 things. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. The journey isn't over, chosen one. In fact, this is just the beginning. Stay strong, stay focused, and remember, your purpose is greater than you ever imagined. Your time is now.